In the heart of Mexico City, where the morning sun paints the sky with hues of promise, Maria rises from her modest bed, her mind already racing with the challenges that lie ahead. She is no stranger to struggle. Her days are marked by a constant battle to provide for her young son, Pedro. Yet there's a glimmer in her eyes, a spark of hope that refuses to be extinguished by the harsh realities of life. It's this resilience that sets Maria apart, the quiet determination that whispers, "Today might just be the day things change." Every morning as the city wakes, Maria embarks on a journey of survival, armed with nothing but her willpower and love for her son. The modest home where Maria lives reflects the challenges she faces, but also the warmth she brings to it. It's not much, just a small space in a sprawling city. But within these walls, Maria creates an environment rich in love and hope. The cracks in the walls, the worn-out furniture, all tell a story of perseverance. Each morning, as she opens the door to let in the fresh air, she breathes in deeply. Not just oxygen, but the possibility that today could bring something new, something better. She knows that life in the bustling city can be unforgiving, yet in her heart, she carries a belief that somewhere out there, opportunity awaits. Maria's mornings are not just about waking up. They are a daily renewal of her spirit. As the city comes alive with the sounds of traffic and chatter, she finds herself motivated by the rhythm of life outside her window. The distant hum of the marketplace, the calls of vendors setting up their stalls, all serve as a reminder that the world continues to move, and so must she. Despite the heavy burden she carries, there's an undercurrent of optimism in her routine, a belief that even in a city as vast and competitive as Mexico City, there is room for someone like her to find her place, to carve out a better life. Her son Pedro is the center of her world, and it is for him that Maria rises each day with renewed strength. She knows that the path ahead is fraught with obstacles, but she also knows that she cannot afford to give up. Pedro's future depends on the choices she makes today, and so every decision, every step, is taken with him in mind. The city might be vast and full of inequalities, but Maria is determined to rise above them, to find a way to give her son the life he deserves. In her quiet moments, she dreams of a future where Pedro will look back and see his mother not just as a provider, but as a symbol of strength and inspiration. As the first rays of sunlight filter through the curtains, Maria feels a sense of urgency to seize the day. Mexico City, with its sprawling markets and opportunities, is out there waiting. The morning is her time to prepare, to plan, and to muster the courage to face whatever comes her way. She knows that the city can be both a place of dreams and disappointments, but she is determined to navigate it with resilience. Maria's morning rituals, though simple, are acts of defiance against the challenges that life throws at her. Each cup of coffee she brews, each step she takes, is a silent declaration that she will not be defeated. And so as the city comes fully to life, Maria steps out, ready to face whatever the day might bring. There's a quiet determination in her stride, a sense that no matter how hard the day might be, she will find a way to push through. The streets of Mexico City are filled with people like her, each with their own stories of struggle and survival. But today Maria feels something different in the air, a sense that change is on the horizon. She doesn't know what form it will take, but she is ready to face the market, the challenges, and perhaps, just perhaps, find that elusive opportunity that could turn everything around. The morning progresses in Maria's modest kitchen, where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee fills the air. Despite the simplicity of her surroundings, Maria approaches the task of preparing breakfast for Pedro with the utmost care. It's not just about feeding him, it's an act of love, a daily ritual that reinforces the bond between mother and son. She knows that in a world as vast and unpredictable as Mexico City, these small moments of connection are vital. They are the threads that weave together the fabric of their lives, providing Pedro with a sense of security and Maria with the strength to keep going. Maria carefully prepares a simple meal, just enough to give Pedro the energy he needs for the day ahead. She's mindful of their limited resources, stretching every peso as far as it can go. The kitchen is humble, the ingredients few, but Maria's hands work with a practiced grace, turning the modest provisions into something that feels special. Each slice of bread, each spoonful of beans, is a testament to her resourcefulness and dedication. She's aware that breakfast is not just about nourishment, it's about starting the day with hope, with the belief that today might bring something better. As she prepares the food, Maria's mind is already racing with plans. She knows that today she must find a job, something to bring in the income that has been so elusive. The weight of responsibility presses down on her, but she doesn't let it show. Instead, she focuses on the task at hand, pouring all her love into the meal she's preparing. Pedro, still rubbing the sleep from his eyes, watches his mother with a quiet admiration. He doesn't fully understand the sacrifices she makes, but he feels the love in every gesture, in the way she smiles at him even when she's tired. The breakfast table, though small, becomes a place of warmth and connection. Maria takes this time to talk to Pedro, to instill in him the values she holds dear: resilience, kindness, and the importance of hard work. They discuss his dreams, the things he wants to achieve, and Maria listens with a heart full of pride and a mind full of determination. She knows that her role is not just to provide, but to inspire, to show Pedro that no matter how difficult life gets, there is always a way forward. These conversations are her way of planting seeds, hoping that one day they will grow into something beautiful. In these quiet moments, Maria also reflects on her own journey. She thinks about the opportunities she has missed, the challenges she has faced, and the dreams she still holds on to. Life has been hard, but it has also taught her invaluable lessons, lessons that she now passes on to Pedro. You have to be ready, you have to be willing to take risks, and above all, you have to believe in yourself. It's a lesson she has learned the hard way, but it's one she's determined to pass on. As they finish their meal, Maria feels a renewed sense of purpose. The day ahead is uncertain, but she knows that she cannot afford to waste any time. There is a job out there, somewhere in the vastness of Mexico City, that could change everything for her and Pedro. She gathers up the dishes, her mind already shifting to the tasks that lie ahead. The breakfast may be over, but the day is just beginning, and Maria is ready to face it with the same determination and hope that has carried her this far. The bustling market in Mexico City is a place where life converges in a whirlwind of colors, sounds, and scents. As Maria navigates through the crowded stalls, her senses are overwhelmed by the vibrant energy of the marketplace. Here, the city's rich and poor alike come together, each seeking something, be it food, conversation, or perhaps a fleeting sense of connection. For Maria, this market visit is a routine necessity, a chance to stretch her limited funds as far as possible. She carefully selects her purchases, mindful of every peso, knowing that each choice has a direct impact on the days ahead. But today, something feels different. As Maria reaches the counter to pay, she realizes with a sinking heart that she doesn't have enough money. The familiar anxiety washes over her, a reminder of the constant struggle to make ends meet in a city where the cost of living often feels insurmountable. She stands there, momentarily frozen, as the cashier waits expectantly. It's a small moment, yet it carries the weight of countless similar moments she has faced throughout her life. The fear of not having enough, the embarrassment of falling short, it's a feeling she knows all too well. Just as she's about to resign herself to returning some of the items, a voice interrupts her thoughts. It's Carlos, a well-dressed man with an air of confidence that suggests he's never known the kind of struggle Maria faces daily. Without hesitation, he offers to pay for her groceries. Maria is taken aback by the gesture, unsure of how to respond. In her world, such kindness is rare, and she finds herself questioning his motives. But Carlos seems sincere, and with no other option, Maria reluctantly accepts his help. Though it's a small act, but one that carries with it a ripple of change, an opening for something new and unexpected. As they leave the market, Carlos strikes up a conversation with Maria, curious about her life. He is intrigued by the resilience he sees in her, the quiet strength that seems to define her every action. For Carlos, who lives a life of privilege, Maria represents a different world, one that he has never truly understood. Their conversation is brief, but it leaves an impression on him. He begins to see Maria not just as a woman in need, but as a person with a story, a person who has much to offer despite her circumstances. There's a connection formed, subtle but undeniable, as if the universe has orchestrated this meeting for a purpose yet to be revealed. For Maria, this encounter is both humbling and empowering. She is grateful for the help, but also determined not to let it define her. She has always been proud of her ability to provide for Pedro, no matter how difficult it has been. Accepting help from a stranger is a new experience, one that challenges her sense of independence. Yet there's a part of her that recognizes the significance of this moment, the idea that perhaps, for the first time in a long while, life is offering her something more than just survival. It's offering her a glimpse of possibility, a sign that change might be on the horizon. As they part ways, Carlos hands Maria his card, suggesting that she reach out if she ever needs anything. It's a gesture that feels both generous and loaded with implications. Maria tucks the card into her pocket, unsure of what to make of it. The market, with all its chaos and clamor, fades into the background as she walks away, her mind swirling with thoughts. What does this mean for her and Pedro? Is this the opportunity she's been waiting for, or just another fleeting moment of kindness? She doesn't know the answers, but she feels a stirring of hope, a sense that the day is not yet done revealing its surprises. As Maria walks away from the market, her thoughts are still occupied by the unexpected encounter with Carlos. She's trying to make sense of it all when she suddenly hears his voice calling out to her again. Carlos, with his polished demeanor and a smile that hints at a world far removed from her own, approaches her once more. This time his offer is even more surprising, a personal invitation to a luxurious party he's hosting that evening. The words catch Maria off guard, leaving her momentarily speechless. A party. Her. It seems almost absurd, like something out of a dream that doesn't belong to her reality. Carlos explains that the party could be an opportunity for Maria to meet people who might be able to help her find a job. He speaks casually, as if this is the most natural suggestion in the world, but Maria can't help but feel a mix of emotions. On one hand, there's the excitement, the idea that this could be a turning point, a chance to change her and Pedro's lives. On the other, there's doubt. Why would someone like Carlos be interested in helping her? And more importantly, could she really fit into a world so different from her own? Back at home, Maria turns the invitation over in her mind, trying to make sense of it. She knows the kind of people who attend such events. Wealthy, powerful, part of an elite circle that seems impenetrable to someone like her. The very idea of stepping into that world feels intimidating, almost impossible. Yet the thought of what it could mean for Pedro drives her forward. She imagines what it would be like to finally secure a job, to have stability and security, to offer her son a future that isn't clouded by uncertainty. The invitation, strange as it is, might just be the opportunity she has been waiting for. Maria shares the news with Pedro, and his enthusiasm is contagious. He sees the party not as a daunting challenge, but as an adventure, a possibility of something wonderful happening. His innocence and optimism remind Maria of the importance of taking risks, of stepping outside her comfort zone even when it feels scary. Pedro's excitement gives Maria the courage she needs, pushing her to consider the invitation more seriously. She begins to think that maybe, just maybe, she could go to this party, that she could hold her own among people who have always seemed so distant, so untouchable. Yet doubts still linger. Maria knows she doesn't have the right clothes for such an event, nor the confidence to walk into a room full of strangers who likely view her as beneath them. The fear of being judged, of not fitting in, weighs heavily on her. But alongside that fear is a growing determination, a whisper in her mind that says, what if? What if this is the break she's been waiting for? What if stepping into this unknown world could change everything? The more she thinks about it, the more she realizes that she cannot let this opportunity pass by, no matter how out of place she might feel. Finally, Maria makes up her mind. She will go to the party, not because she's sure it will lead to anything, but because she knows she has to try. For Pedro, for herself, for the possibility of a better life. She doesn't know what the evening will bring, but she's willing to find out. With Pedro's encouragement and a heart full of mixed emotions, Maria begins to prepare herself mentally for the night ahead. It's a leap into the unknown, a step towards a future that's still uncertain but full of potential. As she gathers what little she has to prepare, Maria feels a strange mix of fear and excitement, an anticipation that tonight might just be the start of something new. As evening approaches, Maria stands in front of her modest wardrobe, the contents of which reflect her life's hardships. The reality of the invitation begins to weigh heavily on her as she sifts through the few pieces of clothing she owns. None of them seem suitable for the kind of luxurious party Carlos described. Each dress, each worn-out blouse tells a story of days spent working hard, of sacrifices made for Pedro, but none of them speaks to the world she's about to enter. The doubt creeps in again. How can she possibly fit in with the elite of Mexico City, dressed in clothes that barely hide the struggles she faces daily? But Pedro, with his youthful optimism, refuses to let his mother's spirits falter. He watches her with wide eyes, full of excitement and hope, as if this night holds the promise of magic. To him, the party is not about the clothes she wears, but about the opportunity it represents. He insists that she looks beautiful no matter what, and his words, though simple, resonate deeply with Maria. It's a reminder that the people who truly matter see beyond the surface. Inspired by his innocence, Maria decides that she won't let her doubts hold her back. She will go to the party dressed as she is, because the strength she carries inside is more important than any fancy gown. Maria tries to make the best of what she has, carefully choosing a simple but clean dress that she hasn't worn in a while. She pulls her hair back, doing her best to present herself with dignity, even if she doesn't have the means to dress like the wealthy guests she'll soon be mingling with. As she stands in front of the mirror, Maria sees not just the reflection of a woman struggling to make ends meet, but someone who has faced countless challenges and still found the courage to push forward. The doubts still linger, but they are tempered by the quiet resolve that has always defined her. In these moments of preparation, Maria's mind drifts to the many times she has had to make do with less. Life in Mexico City has never been easy, but it has taught her resilience. She recalls the countless times she's faced adversity head-on, often with little more than sheer willpower. This party, she realizes, is just another challenge, one that, like so many others, she can overcome by being true to herself. The thought brings her a measure of peace, and she smiles at Pedro, who is watching her with admiration. To him, she is already a hero, and tonight is just another chapter in her story of courage and strength. As the final preparations are made, Maria can't help but feel a mix of fear and anticipation. The doubts haven't disappeared completely. They still whisper to her that she doesn't belong in the world she's about to step into. But there's also a stronger voice, one that comes from deep within, reminding her that she has earned the right to be there, not because of wealth or status, but because of her unwavering determination to provide a better life for her son. The fear is there, but it's no match for the hope that tonight might be the beginning of a new chapter, one where she and Pedro can finally find the stability they've been searching for. With one last look in the mirror, Maria takes a deep breath, gathering her courage. She knows the night ahead will be full of challenges, of navigating a world that is foreign to her, of facing the judgment of those who may not understand her struggles. But she also knows that she cannot let this opportunity pass by. It's not just about her. It's about Pedro's future, about proving to herself that she can rise above her circumstances. As she steps out the door, Maria feels a mix of emotions, but above all, she feels ready to face whatever the night might bring, and ready to prove that she belongs. As Maria arrives at the grand entrance of the luxurious mansion, the contrast between her world and this one becomes starkly apparent. The opulence of the setting, with its towering columns and sprawling gardens, feels like something out of a movie, an image of wealth and privilege that seems a world away from her modest life in Mexico City. She hesitates at the door, her heart pounding in her chest as she takes in the sight of elegantly dressed guests stepping out of expensive cars, their laughter and conversation floating through the air like music. For a moment she wonders if she's made a mistake, if she's about to walk into a world where she clearly doesn't belong. But there's no turning back now. Maria straightens her shoulders, reminding herself of why she's here. This isn't just about her. It's about the future she wants to build for Pedro. With that thought in mind, she takes a deep breath and steps inside, crossing the threshold into a world that is as foreign to her as it is intimidating. The room is filled with people who exude confidence, their conversations peppered with references to places and things Maria can only dream of. She feels the weight of their eyes on her as she enters, a mix of curiosity and judgment, and it takes every ounce of her courage to keep her head held high. Inside, the party is a dazzling spectacle of wealth and elegance. Crystal chandeliers cast a warm glow over the room, reflecting off the polished marble floors and the glasses of champagne held by the guests. Everywhere she looks, Maria is reminded of the divide between her life and theirs, the luxury, the ease with which they move through the world. Yet, as she navigates the crowd, She focuses on staying composed, on presenting herself with the dignity that has carried her through so many challenges before. She knows that to them, she might appear out of place, but she also knows that her presence here is a testament to her strength and determination. As she mingles with the guests, Maria can't help but feel like an outsider. The conversations around her are filled with talk of vacations in Europe, business deals, and the latest fashion trends, topics that have little relevance to her daily life. But she listens intently, trying to absorb as much as she can, hoping to find some common ground. The grandeur of the setting, the sophistication of the people, all serve to remind her of how far she is from the world she's trying to enter. Yet amidst the overwhelming opulence, Maria remains focused on her goal, to find an opportunity, however small, that might help her secure a better future for herself and Pedro. As the evening progresses, Maria begins to feel more and more out of place. She notices the subtle glances in her direction, the quiet murmurs of guests who wonder who she is and why she's there. It's a reminder of the barriers that still exist, of the ways in which society divides people based on wealth and status. But instead of letting these glances intimidate her, Maria uses them as fuel to prove that she belongs here, not because of her background, but because of the strength and determination that have brought her this far. She refuses to let the judgment of others define her. Finally, as she stands alone for a moment, Maria feels a mix of emotions. She's proud of herself for coming this far, for stepping into a world that once seemed unreachable. But she also feels the weight of the night, the constant pressure to prove herself, to find a way to make this evening count. The party continues around her, a blur of faces and conversations, but Maria remains focused. She knows that she's not here to blend in. She's here to stand out, to make an impression and to seize any opportunity that comes her way. And as the night unfolds, she can't shake the feeling that something important is about to happen, something that could change everything. As Maria continues to navigate the glittering sea of guests, she finds herself drawn into a conversation with Sofia Ruiz, a woman whose presence commands attention. Sofia is not just another guest. She is a powerful businesswoman, known for her sharp intellect and influence in the upper echelons of Mexico City's elite. To Maria, Sofia represents everything she has never known, a life of power, control, and success. But as their conversation begins, Maria quickly realizes that Sofia is not just a symbol of wealth. She is a person, one with her own stories and perspectives, and surprisingly, someone who seems genuinely interested in Maria's life. Their conversation starts with polite small talk, but it soon delves into deeper territory. Sofia asks Maria about her life, her challenges, and what brought her to the party. There is something in Maria's sincerity that captivates Sofia, something that stands in stark contrast to the superficial exchanges that often characterize such events. Maria speaks with honesty, not trying to impress or hide her struggles. She talks about Pedro, about her daily battles to provide for him, and about her hopes for a better future. Sofia listens intently, her eyes never leaving Maria's, as if she is searching for something more profound in the words being spoken. As they talk, Maria begins to feel a shift in the atmosphere. The other guests, who initially regarded her with curiosity or indifference, start to take notice. They gather closer, intrigued by the dynamic between Maria and Sofia. It's not often that someone from Maria's background commands the attention of someone as influential as Sofia Ruiz. But it's not just the novelty of the situation that draws them in. It's Maria's authenticity. In a room full of people accustomed to hiding behind facades, Maria's openness is refreshing, even disarming. She speaks not with the polished eloquence of the elite, but with the raw honesty of someone who has faced life's hardest challenges and survived. Sofia is clearly impressed by Maria's resilience, and she begins to ask more probing questions. She wants to know how Maria has managed to stay strong in the face of so much adversity, how she has kept going when so many would have given up. Maria, for her part, answers with humility. She talks about the importance of focusing on what truly matters, family, integrity, and the determination to never give up, no matter how difficult life becomes. It's a philosophy that resonates deeply with Sofia, who, despite her wealth, recognizes the value of such principles. The conversation becomes a meeting of minds, where two very different women find common ground in their shared humanity. The other guests, sensing the significance of the moment, begin to view Maria in a new light. She is no longer just an outsider at the party. She is someone who has earned their respect. The judgments that once lingered in their eyes are replaced with admiration. Maria's story, told with such honesty and grace, has touched them in ways they did not expect. In this moment, she transcends the social barriers that once seemed insurmountable, becoming a symbol of strength and perseverance. It's a powerful reminder that true worth is not measured by wealth or status, but by the character and resilience one displays in the face of life's challenges. As the conversation winds down, Sophia looks at Maria with a new sense of respect. She sees in Maria not just a woman struggling to survive, but someone with the potential to inspire others, someone who could make a real difference if given the chance. Sophia's mind is already turning over possibilities, thinking of ways she could help Maria, perhaps even offer her an opportunity that could change her life. And as the evening progresses, it becomes clear to Maria that this conversation has been more than just a chance meeting. It has been a turning point, one that could open doors she never thought possible. As the evening progresses, Maria begins to feel a growing sense of accomplishment. Her conversation with Sophia has not only lifted her spirits, but has also changed the way others at the party view her. However, not everyone is pleased with the attention Maria is receiving, particularly Carlos, the man who initially invited her to the party. Unbeknownst to Maria, Carlos's intentions were never purely altruistic. He had hoped to use her as a means to amuse his wealthy friends, showcasing her as an outsider in their privileged world. But as Maria begins to hold her own among the guests, Carlos's plan starts to unravel. Determined to regain control of the situation, Carlos decides to humiliate Maria publicly. He interrupts the group of guests where Maria and Sophia are standing, his voice dripping with condescension as he begins to make pointed remarks about Maria's background. He talks about how she must feel so out of place among such distinguished company, his words laced with the intent to diminish her. The room grows quiet as the other guests sense the tension, their eyes shifting between Carlos and Maria, wondering how she will respond. It's a moment that could easily crush someone less resilient, but Maria, with her newfound confidence, remains calm. Maria's heart races as she listens to Carlos, but instead of letting his words wound her, she stands her ground. She meets his gaze, her voice steady as she responds. Rather than lashing out, Maria addresses Carlos with a calm dignity, acknowledging her humble beginnings but refusing to let them define her worth. She speaks of the strength it takes to survive in a world that often seems stacked against people like her, and how she has learned to find value in herself beyond the superficial measures of wealth and status. Her words resonate deeply with the guests, who begin to see Carlos's cruelty for what it is, a desperate attempt to belittle someone who has proven herself to be more than he ever anticipated. As Maria speaks, the room shifts in her favor. The guests, who were once curious onlookers, now rally around her, their support evident in the way they turn away from Carlos and toward Maria. Sophia, in particular, steps forward, making it clear that she stands with Maria. Her endorsement is powerful, a signal to everyone present that Maria is not only welcome here, but that she belongs. Carlos, realizing that his plan has backfired spectacularly, is left standing awkwardly, his confidence evaporating in the face of Maria's poise and the growing solidarity of the other guests. Carlos's attempt to humiliate Maria has instead highlighted her inner strength and resilience. The very qualities he sought to undermine have only been amplified by his actions, turning the tide of the evening in Maria's favor. The other guests, who might have once shared Carlos's condescending view, now see Maria as a symbol of courage and integrity, someone who has earned their respect not despite her background, but because of how she has risen above it. The party, which began as a challenge for Maria, has now become a stage where she stands tall, her dignity intact and her spirit unbroken. In the aftermath of Carlos's failed attempt, Maria feels a sense of vindication. She knows that the night could have gone very differently, but her decision to remain true to herself has paid off. The support she has received from Sophia and the other guests has not only restored her confidence, but has also opened up new possibilities that she hadn't dared to imagine. As the evening continues, Maria realizes that she has not just survived this night, she has triumphed over it. And with that realization comes the understanding that this is only the beginning of the changes that are about to unfold in her life. In the aftermath of Carlos's failed attempt to humiliate her, Maria finds herself at the center of attention. But this time, it's for all the right reasons. The guests at the party, especially Sofia Ruiz, have been deeply impressed by her resilience, grace, and authenticity. As the evening progresses, Sofia approaches Maria with an offer that takes her completely by surprise. In a quiet moment away from the crowd, Sofia tells Maria that she sees great potential in her and wants to help her not only survive but thrive. She offers Maria a job, a real opportunity that could transform her life. Maria is stunned by the offer. It feels like a dream, one that she never allowed herself to imagine could come true. Sofia explains that she's looking for someone who can bring a fresh perspective to her business, someone who understands the struggles of the average person and can help bridge the gap between the elite and those who are often left behind. She believes that Maria, with her strength and life experience, is exactly the person she needs. Along with the job, Sofia also offers Maria a car, a symbol of the new independence and freedom this opportunity will bring. The enormity of Sofia's offer begins to sink in. For Maria, this is more than just a job. It's a lifeline, a chance to break free from the cycle of poverty that has defined her life for so long. It's the opportunity she has been waiting for, the one that could finally give her the stability she needs to provide a better life for Pedro. But it's also a challenge, one that requires her to step fully into a world that is still foreign to her. Yet, as she looks into Sofia's eyes, Maria sees the sincerity behind the offer, and she knows that this is a chance she cannot afford to pass up. Accepting Sofia's offer is not just about securing a job. It's about embracing a new chapter in her life. Maria thinks of Pedro, of the future she has always dreamed of giving him. This opportunity could change everything for them, opening doors that were once firmly shut. It's a moment of transformation, where all the struggles and sacrifices she has made seem to finally be leading to something greater. The car, too, represents a new level of freedom. No longer will she be constrained by the limitations of public transport or the distance between where she is and where she wants to be. As she accepts the job, Maria feels a mix of emotions: gratitude, hope, and a renewed sense of determination. She knows that this opportunity comes with great responsibility, but it's a responsibility she is ready to embrace. Sofia's offer is not just a gift. It's a recognition of Maria's worth and potential. It's an acknowledgement that she is not just a survivor, but someone who can thrive and make a meaningful impact on the world around her. For the first time in a long while, Maria feels truly seen and valued for who she is, not just for what she has endured. As the night comes to an end, Maria leaves the party with a heart full of hope and a mind buzzing with possibilities. The car keys in her hand feel like a tangible symbol of the new path she is about to embark on. The world, which once seemed so closed off to her, now feels full of potential. And as she heads home to Pedro, she knows that this is just the beginning. The opportunities that lie ahead are vast and unknown, but with Sofia's support and her own inner strength, Maria is ready to face whatever comes next. The future, once uncertain, now gleams with the promise of transformation and growth. In the days following the party, Maria's life begins to shift in ways she had only dreamed of. The job Sofia offered her is more than just employment. It's a gateway to a new world, one where Maria is no longer defined by her struggles, but by her potential. Under Sofia's guidance, Maria steps into her new role with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The office environment is a far cry from anything she's known before, filled with polished professionals and high-stakes decisions. Yet Maria approaches each day with the same resilience and determination that has always driven her, eager to prove herself in this unfamiliar territory. The work is challenging, but it's also invigorating. Maria finds herself learning new skills, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. She quickly earns the respect of her colleagues, not through wealth or connections, but through sheer hard work and dedication. Sofia's mentorship plays a crucial role in this transformation. She pushes Maria to think bigger, to see beyond her current limitations, and to envision a future where she is not just surviving, but thriving. It's a process of growth that feels both exhilarating and daunting, as Maria realizes that she is capable of far more than she ever imagined. Meanwhile, Carlos, the man who once tried to humiliate Maria, is facing the consequences of his actions. His reputation has taken a hit among the elite, and he finds himself increasingly isolated. The very people he once sought to impress now view him with disdain, not for his wealth but for his lack of character. It's a humbling experience for Carlos, one that forces him to reflect on his behavior and the values that have guided his life thus far. As Maria rises, Carlos finds himself struggling to regain his footing, learning the hard way that respect and admiration are earned, not bought. As Maria settles into her new life, the transformation is palpable. The car Sofia gave her becomes a symbol of her newfound independence, allowing her to navigate the city with ease. No longer constrained by the limitations of her old life, Maria begins to explore possibilities she once thought were out of reach. She's no longer just trying to get by. She's building a future for herself and Pedro that is full of promise. The stability that comes with her new job provides a foundation upon which she can dream bigger, plan for the long term, and create the life she has always wanted for her son. Pedro too feels the impact of these changes. His mother's new job and their improved circumstances bring a sense of security and hope that was previously missing from their lives. Maria's story becomes a source of inspiration for him, teaching him that no matter how difficult life may seem, perseverance and integrity can lead to remarkable opportunities. The bond between mother and son grows stronger as they both adapt to their new reality, filled with possibilities that seemed unimaginable just weeks before. The life they are building together is one rooted in love, resilience, and the belief that they can overcome any obstacle. Yet as Maria continues to grow in her new role, she remains grounded. She doesn't forget where she came from or the struggles that shaped her. Instead, she uses those experiences as fuel, a reminder of the strength she carries within. The transformation in her life is profound, but it's also a testament to the power of opportunity and the importance of never giving up. Maria's journey is far from over, but with each passing day she moves closer to the future she has always envisioned for herself and Pedro. It's a new beginning, one that holds the promise of not just survival but true fulfillment and happiness. As Maria settles into her new role under Sofia's guidance, her journey of transformation continues with remarkable momentum. Each day at the office brings new challenges and opportunities for growth. What started as a daunting leap into the unknown has now become a path of steady progress, one that Maria navigates with determination and an eagerness to learn. Her colleagues, once skeptical of her place in this world, now respect her not just for her work ethic, but for the unique perspective she brings. Maria's story of overcoming adversity resonates within the company, becoming a source of inspiration for those around her. Sofia, recognizing Maria's potential, takes a hands-on approach to her mentorship. She introduces Maria to key figures within the industry, ensuring that her voice is heard in important meetings and discussions. Maria's confidence grows with each interaction, and she begins to see herself not just as an employee, but as a valuable contributor to the company's success. The skills she develops are not only professional, but personal as well. Negotiation, strategic thinking, and the ability to navigate complex social dynamics. Each new skill is a building block, lifting her closer to the life she has always dreamed of for herself and Pedro. Meanwhile, Carlos, once at the pinnacle of social circles, finds himself struggling to reclaim his standing. The consequences of his actions at the party linger, affecting his business and personal relationships. The very connections he once relied on are now strained, as people begin to distance themselves from his tainted reputation. It's a harsh lesson in humility for Carlos, who starts to understand that wealth and power are fleeting without the foundation of respect and integrity. His journey, though difficult, mirrors Maria's in a way. Both are learning, growing, and adapting to the changes life has thrown their way, though on very different paths. Maria's rise within the company is not without its challenges. There are moments of doubt, times when the pressure feels overwhelming. But each time she reminds herself of how far she has come and the importance of perseverance. Sofia's support remains unwavering, but Maria also begins to trust in her own abilities more. She takes on more responsibilities, leading projects and making decisions that have a tangible impact on the company's direction. With each success, Maria's confidence solidifies, and she begins to envision a future where she continues to rise, not just for herself, but as a role model for others who face similar struggles. The car that Sofia gave Maria becomes a symbol of her career progression. It's more than just a means of transportation. It represents the freedom and independence that come with her newfound success. Maria no longer feels bound by the limitations of her past. She drives through the streets of Mexico City with a sense of purpose, knowing that she is creating a better life for Pedro and herself. The city, once a place of insurmountable challenges, now feels full of opportunities waiting to be seized. Each drive to work, each meeting she attends, reaffirms her belief that she is on the right path. As Maria continues to excel, her influence begins to extend beyond the company. Her story spreads, inspiring others who are facing their own battles with poverty and inequality. People in her community start to see her as a beacon of hope, someone who has risen above her circumstances through hard work and the support of others. Maria's journey is far from over, but with each step forward, she strengthens the foundation she is building for her and Pedro's future. Her career progression is not just a personal victory, it's a testament to the power of resilience and the transformative impact of opportunity. Maria's story quickly becomes a beacon of hope, not just for herself and Pedro, but for the entire community around her. Her journey from a struggling single mother to a respected professional under Sofia's mentorship is nothing short of inspirational. Word of her success spreads, and soon people begin to look up to her as an example of what can be achieved with perseverance, resilience, and a bit of opportunity. Pedro, watching his mother's transformation, feels a deep sense of pride and motivation. He sees firsthand that no matter how difficult life may be, there is always a path forward if one is willing to work for it. For Pedro, Maria's journey is more than just a story of survival. It's a lesson in the power of determination and the importance of education and personal growth. Inspired by his mother's example, he begins to take his studies more seriously, knowing that education is his ticket to a better future. Maria encourages him every step of the way, sharing with him the wisdom she has gained through her own experiences. She teaches him that life's challenges are not obstacles to be feared, but opportunities to learn and grow. Her words, grounded in the reality of her own struggles, resonate deeply with Pedro, shaping his outlook on life. Maria's impact extends beyond her immediate family. In her community, she becomes a symbol of hope and possibility. Her success story is shared in local gatherings and discussions, serving as a reminder that change is possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. People who once felt trapped by their circumstances now see Maria as proof that it's never too late to pursue a better life. Her willingness to share her experiences, to be open about the challenges she has faced and overcome, makes her a relatable and inspiring figure. She becomes a mentor to others, offering advice and support to those who are just beginning their own journeys of transformation. The changes in Maria's life also bring about a shift in how she views herself and her place in the world. She no longer sees herself as a victim of circumstance, but as someone with the power to shape her own destiny. This newfound confidence fuels her desire to give back, to help others who are still struggling to find their way. She begins to volunteer her time, speaking at local schools and community centers, sharing her story and encouraging others to never give up on their dreams. Her message is clear. With hard work, determination, and the right support, anyone can overcome their circumstances and achieve greatness. As Pedro grows older, he carries the lessons he has learned from his mother into his own life. Maria's journey becomes a guiding light for him, showing him that success is not just about achieving personal goals, but about lifting others as you rise. He begins to dream of ways he can make a difference in the world, inspired by the example his mother has set. Maria, watching her son's growth, feels a deep sense of fulfillment. She knows that the struggles she has endured were not in vain. They have shaped both her and Pedro into stronger, more compassionate people, ready to face whatever challenges life may bring. Maria's story is far from over, but as she looks back on the journey she has traveled, she feels a profound sense of accomplishment. She has not only changed her own life, but she has also become a source of inspiration for countless others. Her journey from struggle to success is a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of community, and the transformative impact of opportunity. As she and Pedro continue to grow and thrive, Maria remains committed to helping others do the same, ensuring that her story of inspiration and growth is not just her own, but a legacy that will continue to empower others for years to come. As we bring Maria's incredible journey to a close, it's clear that her story is more than just a tale of survival. It's a blueprint for transformation. Her life, once defined by struggle, has become a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of seizing opportunities, and the impact of kindness and support from others. But this story isn't just about Maria, it's about you. Think about the challenges you face in your own life. What opportunities might be waiting for you if you choose to take that first bold step forward just as Maria did? Ask yourself, what's holding you back from reaching your full potential? Are there opportunities you're not seeing, simply because they're wrapped in the challenges you face every day? Maria's story shows us that the path to growth often begins with a single brave decision to step into the unknown. So I challenge you to take that step. Look at your life with fresh eyes, see the possibilities that lie within your reach, and dare to dream bigger. Whether it's in your career, your personal growth, or in the way you contribute to your community, the power to transform your life is in your hands. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Maria's journey. Did it resonate with you? What part of her story inspired you the most? Share your reflections in the comments below. Let's start a conversation about how we can all take steps towards our own personal growth and help lift those around us in the process. After all, we're all on this journey together, and by sharing our experiences, we can inspire and support each other in ways we never thought possible. And if you found value in Maria's story, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another inspiring story. There's so much more to learn, so many more lives to explore, and I'm excited to continue this journey with you. Remember, every great change begins with a small step. So what will your next step be? Let's keep this conversation going and continue to grow together, one story at a time.